Yelling. I grew up with it in the household and I refuse to continue. Luckily me and my wife understand that. Waking up to my parents screaming at each other for my whole childhood never gets old. And falling asleep to the sound of two angry foxes in full volume. To this day I can't sleep without having my earbuds in and listening to music. Fun searching for them in the morning. If I tell her something private and she 1. Makes jokes about it, 2. Tells it to others, 3. Tells it to her friends and they joke about it, 4. Uses it against me, 5. Acts like it doesn't matter / it's not important. No tolerance about that. Thank you so much for listing them out. Anyone in an abusive toxic relationship and are unaware or tolerant about it can help themselves by reading this comment. I don't HV any awards, but I'd love to give a comment 1. Not willing to talk through issues. Or just willing to talk about their issues. Really? Nobody mentioning a lie? Lies 1000% hidden sneaky stuff. Cheating. Lies. Lies. Infidelity always top on the list. Not respecting boundaries. My friend had to break up with his SO because they were stealing weed from him. He told them to just ask and he's good with it. Just for a bowl here, bowl there, so not like a malicious theft either. The SO kept doing it and now he's single. They really liked each other it seemed, so it just seems like the stupidest move on the part of the SO. If you can't trust somebody, you can't trust them. Someone that can't have a conversation about serious matters. Rip, that's the situation I'm in. Silent treatment until you apologize for everything, even when you are not at fault. A big red flag. Not making efforts for our relationships. Relationship is a team effort, not a solo job. Controlling. I dated a guy that wouldn't let me see my college professor during his office hours because he was convinced this 65-year-old man was into me. Entitlement and narcissism. Those kind of go hand in hand. On that note, accountability. Adultery. Zero tolerance. Including emotional. If you're not all in, your partner deserves to know that. Doubts early on are one thing and should be worked through, but the second another person enters the scenario in any romantic capacity, your partner deserves your honesty immediately. We all have only one life to live. Wasting someone else's stringing them along until you're ready to shake things up is unforgivable. Both partners deserve to be able to plan their futures based on reality. There should never be one partner continuing to invest in a shared life while the other is exploring other options. Murder. If my wife ever murders me, then we're done. Well, till death do us part was one point the boss. Hurting animals. If I saw someone I was dating hit their dog or cat, that would be a massive deal breaker. A girl I was dating recently tried to explain that it was instilling discipline when she would smack her dog for simply licking his paws for too long. I was quite baffled. Lack of accountability for reactions and emotions. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, is a garbage excuse for doing shitty things and expecting no repercussions. Also entitlement. It's actually sad this phrase has been taken over by toxic people trying to justify their shitty behavior. I originally interpreted it as if you can't handle seeing me at my lowest, sick, upset, crying etc, then you don't deserve me when I'm at my happiest. Because ultimately a partner should be there for you when you're down. The other person trying to make it a competition on who's in charge. We are both in charge. Edit, as Op said, and I want to state this, making everything a competition from who works harder to who is more oppressed to who deserves more sympathy is a bright red flag. Leave immediately if someone does this. Please include competition of who is suffering more, who is hardworking more, who is going through problems more, who deserves empathy and support more. Just bright, fluorescent red flags. Not having my back. Lack of integrity. This is complicated because I need my partner to call me out on my BS or bad decisions. Sometimes that means having my back by not having my back. Loving someone sometimes means wanting what they don't even want for themselves. I'll go with the obvious one. Cheating. I know people who have done it and worked it out. Not here. One and done. My ex-wife did it once. And now she's my ex-wife. Good for you. I'm all for working through problems. This is where I draw the line. It's a betrayal of trust and loyalty at the highest regard. Blows my mind that so many people can do this to your lifelong teammate, the person you chose to tackle life with. Them being abusive. This, and also understanding not all abuse is physical, verbal, psychological, emotional, etc. can all be just as hurtful in their own ways. Living their life via Facebook. The constant need for validation. Marriage lasted a year. I can't imagine the life of those dudes who married influencers. Being manipulative. Being disrespectful upon anger. Yes, I have literally been told that your partner has the right to unleash their frustration and anger on you cause they can't do so in public. I disagree. Please don't ask who told me that. Social media dependence. If she's constantly checking on people, passing judgment, taking pictures, complaining about trends, complaining about likes, never puts her phone down, etc. That's incredibly disappointing when you end up talking to the top of someone's head or the back of their phone. Someone who tries to seek validation from social media and is not satisfied with the validation their partner gives them. Negative trait. On a second thought, I don't think one SHLD crave for validation if they are self-confident. I've got a history of being physically abused. The next person who tries to hit me is getting arrested. I was a fool to not do that before. I won't make that mistake again. Me too. But physical abuse is the tip of the iceberg. I don't need her to be arrested. I just need to turn and walk away. Contempt. Poor emotional intelligence and complaining as a hobby. These sound like important ones to keep in mind. Complainers who simply enjoy complaining are at best annoying, at worst can cause anxiety in others around them. Fucking other guys. Or other girls for that matter. Just because it isn't another guy doesn't mean it isn't cheating. Lack of honesty. Emotional blackmailing. Like trying to convince you to do something because you're a bad person if you don't. I hate that. I had someone whom I've never really talked that much to hit me up and try to convince me to date her and be a dad to her kids. When I told her I couldn't watch her kids one weekend, which I've never done before, nor were we dating, she said I was making excuses why I couldn't watch my own kids, again which I don't have any kids. Typical gaslighting. Shitting on my hobbies. There are many more, but this one gets on my nerves because I see it with so many friends and coworkers GFS/wives. As long as the bills are paid and savings are going up, let a man enjoy things. This is an important one. I remember my friends invited a new guy to play Dungeons and Dragons with us, and the second or third time his GF had to come over to watch. She gave me vibes of someone who detests her, so having hobbies she doesn't approve. He stopped coming around very likely because she didn't approve. Don't put me down for doing weird things that are perfect normal to me. I'm sorry it's not your style, but it's mine, and I won't mask myself just to make you comfortable if you're my partner.